Everybody knows San Francisco's famous landmarks, but what most people don't know about are the things we are going to explore today. I'm going to take you on a journey. We're going to do 3 different hiking trails in the Presidio, and these trails, they're a little bit hidden and off the beaten track. First, we're going to do the Lobos Creek Trail. Then we're going to head over the Tennessee Hollow, and the Tennessee Hollow is named after a pretty heartbreaking story. And then we're going to wrap it up with one of the oldest trails in the Presidio. The challenge today is I'm going to try and do it all before the sun goes down, all 3 trails. I'm not sure we're going to get it done before dark, but we're going to give it our best try. The Presidio was off limits to most people for well over 200 years. And today we're going to go to places that were full on used by the military. And over the last 15 or 20 years, people have wound it back to what it was like before. And I don't want to use the word miracle. It's a little bit amazing that people were able to do this. Let's talk about Lobos Creek for just a second. It is in fact the last free-flowing above-ground natural creek in San Francisco. Runs just about a mile, emptying into the Pacific Ocean at Baker Beach. San Francisco was once crisscrossed by small streams and creeks, but over time they were buried and culverted for development. Some of them were turned into sewer lines in the late 19th and early 20th century. In the 1870s, the Army farmed vegetables, and in the 1920s, built a balloon hangar in this valley. In 1994, the Presidio became part of the national park, setting in motion the restoration of the dune ecosystem and what you see in front of you. Okay, nerd alert, this is the Lobos Creek area, and you would assume Lobos Español, wolf. Well, that's not the way it is at all. Apparently, when the Spaniards came in the late 1700s, they saw the elephant seals and the sea lions, and they called them wolves. They literally called them marinos lobos, or sea wolves, and that's how this area got its name. I really enjoy imagining what this place was like back when there was none of this, when it was all sand dunes, before these plants were reintroduced and planted, and this area now resembles a pretty mature kind of coastal dune environment. And this area, as we walk around today, is really just beautiful proof of what the people have done. They have restored this area that we're walking in, and it looks much like it might have looked before the white man came to the area, more like when the Native Americans were here, and the tule elk and the grizzly bear, and this was a really wild area. We are literally in the middle of a residential area. On the edge of this trail, you see buildings poking up where San Franciscans go about their business. And it's kind of amazing that this place exists and is so beautiful, despite being in the middle of a city. Now, you can do this hike as kind of an out and back or a loop. If you do it as an out and back, you can do it on a boardwalk that is flat and really gently sloping. It's a very, very easy walk. If you want to do the loop, you're going to hit kind of some sand and some just a little bit more trudging. It's not terribly difficult. If you have mobility issues, you might want to come to the end of the boardwalk, turn around, and head on back. It's beautiful any way that you do it. Another little tidbit of information to share with you guys. We are near the Seacliff neighborhood in San Francisco, and apparently Ansel Adams, the famous black and white photographer, he grew up in Seacliff, and this area was, for all intents and purposes, much more wild then than it is now. And the story goes that he used to tromp around and hike in these areas, and later in his life he said being so close to this natural environment and the ocean inspired him to get out into nature and led to the photography that we all, to this day, enjoy. We are going to head to our second hike, which is Tennessee Hollow, and we got to get going because we are burning daylight. As you head on up, you're going to come right across the mouth of the San Francisco Bay. I don't know if you can see it out there. There's a ship heading out to sea. There's a big truck coming by. There's a cyclist. This place is just full of activity. We are at the Tennessee Hollow trailhead. The Golden Gate Bridge is literally like right there. This couldn't be a better place to eat some food because I need lunch Trail number 2 takes us into a place called Tennessee Hollow. Tennessee Hollow has a history. It includes water, it includes military, and there's a bit of a comeback story that we're going to get into that's actually kind of fascinating. I suppose I should actually look up what a hollow is, but boy, I'm thinking this is a hollow. And look at this trail. It is so beautiful. I'm surrounded by people everywhere, and that is like this little green belt right through this hike. Who knew? For so long, there was concrete and man-made structures. We're going to get into parts of this hike where that will be hard to imagine, because over the years, they have done so much work to restore the habitat. It's now this incredibly beautiful hike in the middle of the Presidio. Check this path out. That is a path towards happiness, because this is Lover's Lane. It is the oldest footpath in the Presidio, and soldiers would take it. Their barracks were behind the camera, and the edge of the Presidio is up on that hill, and they would walk this path to see their lady friends who were just on the other side of the border of the Presidio. So we're going to visit El Polon Spring, and it's a natural historical spring located, of course, in the Presidio. Again, water seems to be a theme here, and it was a really important natural waterway. It was actually one of the locations that was settled in San Francisco first because of the water source. By 1812, the locals had built adobe homes around the spring, and it was one of the first places in San Francisco that I guess you could call a neighborhood. So all around me is Tennessee Hollow, and it was named Tennessee Hollow after the 1st Tennessee Volunteer Infantry. And they came to this area in 1898, where they billeted before they went off to the Philippines. They had some problems health-wise down here because apparently it was boggy and wet and maybe not the greatest place to be. But the real problem started when they came back from the Philippines, because not only was this area still not very healthy, they brought back diseases that the Army doctors had never seen before. And the numbers are a little sketchy, but apparently a lot of members of the Tennessee Volunteer Infantry, they died here. And they honored them by naming this hollow after them. So the Tennessee Hollow, this area that I'm in right now, there are a couple of different tributaries that come in here. And this is a low-lying area. And they spent a lot of time after what happened here with the Tennessee Volunteers drying this area out and diverting the water, sending it underground. And it was pretty dry for 100 years or so. And now it's wet again, because what they've done is they've undone all of that irrigation or water control and let things flow and settle here. So now there is actual water, and I don't know, there's no way you can see it. There's actually a duck in there doing duck things. I don't even know how to explain this. What I'm looking at is a restored habitat that at one point was covered with concrete. There were repair stations for automobiles. The creek that runs through here was in a culvert. I mean, this whole thing was covered and did not exist. The Tennessee Hollow hike they call an easy hike. It is 1.2 miles, mostly paved and gravel paths. They estimate the time at about 45 minutes, but I'm guessing that's just one way. So if you're going out and back like I'm going to do, that's 2.2 miles. 2 down, 1 to go. I am at the top of the hill, about 275 feet above the bay, which is behind me. It is a Thursday, and there is very, very few people out today. I've run across very few humans, and it's super surprising how much open space, how much green space there actually is. Now, we're going to pick up the Ecology Trail. That is the 3rd and final trail, and we're going to take it all the way down, well, as far as it goes, and eventually I'm going to end up at the van. Pretty much like everywhere in the Presidio, this area was originally inhabited by the natives, then the Spanish, then the Mexicans, and ultimately the U.S. Army. And they reforested the area with non-native species. You're going to see eucalyptus trees and other trees that weren't originally here. The problem is those trees are now getting old and they're kind of dangerous. So over the last 15, 20 years, they have slowly been getting rid of the non-natives and trying to reintroduce the native trees to this area. We are going to head down the hill and I am going to stop at Inspiration Point. We'll probably get some fabulous views, maybe inspiring views of the San Francisco Bay. Hopefully my knee will hold up on the downhill run. Okay, and just when I thought I was all done, I'm not, because here is a redwood grove in the Presidio. Yes, they're small redwoods and they're not that old, but there's a really unique little ecosystem right here that allows these redwood trees to grow and thrive right here in the Presidio. 3 hikes, 1 day, I did it. Would I do it again? Well, I'd go to these places again, but I don't know that I would do that much walking in 1 day again. It was actually quite a lot. I enjoyed it because it was kind of exciting to get it all done in 1 day. But yeah, I'm a little bit tired. This was eye-opening for me. I've lived in this area most of my entire life. I have never been to these places. If you have been to the Presidio, if you have gone to the postcard spots, you have kind of think that you've seen it all in this particular area of the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, let me tell you, you haven't seen it all. These 3 hikes today were new to me. They put me into beautiful areas I did not know existed, and I would urge you to come on out and do them if that strikes your fancy. If you like the channel, please subscribe, come on back, drop a comment, let me know what you like, what you want to see. Any interaction is good interaction, so I want to hear from you guys. And yeah, I guess that's all I got for now. Until next time, happy trails.